House of Cards is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls,
You're listening to House of Cards.
Today, the game is different.
I want to gamble. Gambling is a very serious business. Is that clear?
Hello, everyone. This is Ashley Adams. I'm your host of House of Cards for the hour. We have a great guest for you today. He is Ryan Ross, the Vice President of Marketing for Empire City Casino. He'll be talking to us about the New York area's largest casino in the southern part of New York State, right outside Manhattan.
And this is Dave Weishottle. You're going to hear part 2 of my interview with Matt Robaltowski from SportsHandle.com and USBets.com, and we're going to talk some sports betting numbers, so stick around. We'll be right back with House of Cards.
East Coast Gaming Congress is the second longest running gaming conference in the country.
2 days, focused discussion with the right speakers.
Coming together and paying attention to where is the future of the industry going and how do we prepare ourselves for it.
I want to give people the chance to do what they want to do. If they want to play online, if they want to come to the casino, but the more different offerings that you offer folks, the better experience you're going to have and the stickier your customer is going to be.
The biggest challenge facing this industry will be how do they attract new players and get them into their casinos by sports betting, by online gaming, and other emerging forms of gaming.
I started my day up at Monmouth Park, where I had the great pleasure of placing the first 2 legal sports bets in New Jersey's history.
I'm not a food and beverage person at all, but I found the food and beverage panel today fascinating.
You can come here even if you're not planning on playing and then eventually turn a couple of diners into players, and then they got a routine in their life.
ECGC brings in subject matter experts that are all explaining what's going to happen next, and that's the reason I come here.
When it comes to online sports betting, PlaySugarHouse.com offers players one of the best experiences in the state of New Jersey. They offer live in-game betting on sporting events worldwide, moneyline bets, point spreads, prop bets, play-by-play bets, and many more. All at PlaySugarHouse.com, your new home for sports betting in New Jersey. Take advantage of one of their 12 easy deposit methods to get in on all the action. And now when you sign up at PlaySugarHouse.com using our promo code HOUSE, they'll match your first deposit up to $250. Must be 21 years or older and in New Jersey to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
You're listening to the House of Cards.
Night. Not thrilling, but night.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Ashley Adams, your host of House of Cards. And we are, as a gambling radio show, we like to shine a spotlight on different gaming venues. Today is no exception. We are looking at the Empire Casino, the Empire City Casino. We have with us today Ryan Ross, who is the Vice President of Marketing for the Empire City Casino. He should be with us now. Ryan, are you there?
I am. Good morning.
Good morning. And for many of our listeners, good evening, which is when they'll be hearing this show. Could you tell us a little bit about your background and how you came to the Empire City Casino?
Sure. I've been with MGM Resorts International here for about 11 years. Most recently, I was in Mississippi at their 2 properties, which are located about 400 miles apart, one at the southern tip of Mississippi and the other at the northern tip of Mississippi. My background includes roles as Director of Planning and Analysis, as well as Regional Director of National Marketing and Vice President of Marketing. So we had a large air program there where we had our own airplane in Mississippi, brought in just under 100,000 customers a year, basically east of the Mississippi River. And so out-of-state visitation was very important to us. Here in the great state of New York, in the tri-state area, Empire is a wonderful facility, and we're looking forward, hopefully, as we move forward in time here, to developing our property and receiving a full commercial license so we can have table games, poker, a sports book, expanded restaurants, more offerings for a lot of our customers in terms of hotel towers and even a parking garage.
All right. Well, give our listeners who may not have heard of Empire City Casino a little bit of the background story of how a racetrack ended up becoming branded as an MGM property, the Empire City Casino. What's the backstory here?
That's a wonderful question. Throughout the United States, as both horse racing and dog racing really grew over the past 6, 7, and 8 decades, it became really an inclination for several different jurisdictions to say, hey, we love the fact that we have a high patronage count, but the games need to move more quickly. And because that happened, the onset of Keno and other Class 2 type games really became favorites of customers. So while there's still a great racing customer out there, there's also this new customer that prefers the faster moving games. And so as the Keno type games evolved to include games that are very similar to what you see in commercial casinos now, the algorithms are actually different behind those games. And so the volatility is a little bit less in the current Class 2 environment versus the Class 3 environment. But as the states saw what was happening in Nevada and the needs for tax revenue grew to improve education, infrastructure, so on and so forth, casinos became a more popular way of generating that revenue. What a lot of people don't realize is that casinos actually, when you talk about their taxation rates, the tax is off the top line revenue. So, for example, on the casino side of our business, here in the great state of New York, the casino only actually receives about 29% of the top line revenue. 10% of that revenue goes over in a couple of different forms to the racing side of our business, and the remaining approximately 60% goes to the state. And so, it's a business that you have to really keep your eye on, watch your margins in order to create some level of sustainability and to offer great services and entertainment to our customers.
So for folks that might not have heard of the Empire City Casino, what did it used to be?
Oh, a harness racing track. It was a wonderful start here, and to this day we have racing 7 days per week. 5 days per week. We're off on Sundays and Wednesdays. And as we've developed over the past century, it's actually 120 years now that we've been in operation. The harness racing has been the mainstay, the one consistent product over the past century that we've offered here. So the races, I attend them as often as I can, but, we have a very strong, core, loyal racing crowd, and it's a very, very exciting experience. The Kentucky Derby, obviously, this past weekend was a very, very big day for us. So folks could bet simulcast, meaning other races that are occurring at other venues throughout the country, as well as on our own local races.
I see. So you're not saying that the Kentucky Derby was raced at your racetrack. You're saying that they could bet simulcast, right? This
yes,
is
sir.
not Churchill
Exactly.
Downs. What was the old name?
Yonkers Raceway is originally the branded name of our facility.
Right.
So
people that know Yonkers, they know where you are. For the rest of the world, where exactly is the Empire City Casino?
Yes, we're located here, right in Yonkers, New York, in Westchester County. We're just 15 miles north of Times Square, about 2 miles from the New York City border in the Bronx. It's really a short drive from the George Washington Bridge. and we're very easily accessible via the Metro North buses and the shuttle buses. There is actually like a one-day getaway package from Harlem at 125th Street. There's a couple of other different routes that we have throughout this area, and those rates are often include a free play and a meal credit and are less than $20.
Listeners, we're going to cut away. We'll be back after a quick break.
New Jersey's sports betting market has exploded, and there's so many places to bet it can make your head spin. But PointsBet.com is the one online sportsbook you can't afford to ignore. PointsBet.com has everything a person would want in a sportsbook. Spread betting, moneyline betting, prop bets, you name it, you'll find it at PointsBet. Daily promos that can't be beat, odds boosters you won't find anywhere else, early payout promos, it's all at PointsBet.com. You can bet from anywhere in New Jersey using your mobile device. And now there's even a better reason to sign up with PointsBet.com. Go to PointsBet.com and sign up using our promo code HOUSE, that's HOUSE, and you'll get 2 risk-free bets up to $1,000. PointsBet is the preferred sportsbook of superstars Allen Iverson and Darrelle Revis. They even have the Revis Betting Academy hosted by Darrelle Revis himself. So sign up today at PointsBet.com using our promo code HOUSE and start having some real fun. That's promo code HOUSE, HOUSE. PointsBet. Stay sharp. Must be 21 years or older and in New Jersey to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
You're listening to House of Cards. Check out our website at houseofcardsradio.com.
Hello, listeners. Welcome back to House of Cards. This is Ashley Adams, your host. Listeners, we've been talking to Ryan Ross, who is the Vice President of Marketing for Empire City Casino, formerly known many years ago as Yonkers Raceway, which I grew up with. My family has harness horses, and we still race occasionally at Yonkers, a wonderful place that I really enjoyed going to, Roosevelt Raceway and Yonkers Raceway and up in Saratoga. Great harness. So these days, with the proliferation of gaming all across New England and New York, with, of course, the new casinos that the state licensed in New York, why would somebody go and play at the Empire City Casino? Give me some reasons that somebody would go to your place as opposed to someplace else.
Well, we have over 5,200 games throughout the casino floor. And really, geographic proximity and convenience is a huge factor for a lot of our customers that don't have to make those long drives to some of those casino areas that you mentioned. We do have electronic table games, so we offer everything from blackjack to 3-card poker to roulette to baccarat. So there's a lot of different product offerings here, and obviously we give great customer service. And now that we're an M Life Rewards facility, for example, here in May and June, we're going to award over $555,000 in free play. We have 2 very nice SUVs that we're going to award: a 2019 Cadillac Escalade and a 2019 QX Infiniti QX50, as well as 8 round trips to Las Vegas MGM Resorts properties, the Bellagio, MGM Grand, Park MGM, and the Mirage, as well as luggage sets. So when you come here, there's so many different ways that you can win, so many different promotions that are taking place each and every day. And the fact that we're now able to offer you vacation experiences at some of these other MGM resorts, we think is a very compelling value proposition for a lot of our customers.
Okay, well, 2 follow-up questions. First of all, I know that there are a lot of other MGM properties around the country. Is your rewards program all tied together? So can I use rewards points that I have earned at your property at the MGM in Las Vegas, for example?
Yes, we're absolutely all tied together through the M Life Rewards network. However, just to be clear, there's a couple of different points I just want to point out here. It won't be until mid-October that we'll actually have everyone here at Empire City Casino have an M Life Rewards card in their hand. So until that time, they won't have the ability to take their comps out to Vegas until October. However, the good news is through our promotions, we're giving away a lot of trips. And then this summer, if you're a card member with the Empire Club card, we are actually going to send you Vegas offers as well for Vegas hotel stays. And some of those stays will be comp stays. So, in the mail, you could receive an offer that says, Mr. Adams, you have 3 nights at the Bellagio complimentary. Please call this number to make your reservation and mention your Empire Club number.
Great, I'll take that. That's terrific.
We are working on that before October.
And you have all sorts of special offers for radio show hosts, right?
Of course.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
You mentioned that you're going to be getting your full commercial license. What things will change when you get a license? Because you just referenced having, baccarat and blackjack. What will you be able to add once you get your full commercial license?
Yes, and we certainly hope to get that license, and I apologize if I made it sound like it's an absolute guarantee. It's obviously, would require the approval of the state legislature as well as the governor's office. And currently there is, in order to get the upstate casinos started, they actually built into the law that it would be 2023 before that process started. However, we think we can generate a lot more tax revenue for the state if we start that earlier. And so what would really change here is we would have live table games, first of all, because right now they're just electronic table games. So there's live dealers, and a lot of our table games players, like the advantage of having the live games because they can reduce any type of house edge down to the barest possible minimum. So people really enjoy those games. It's also, frankly, as a gambler, I would say it's just a much more fun experience and much more interactive experience. We would love to get a poker room in here. In Mississippi in last August at our 2 properties there, we launched sports books. And so it helped to really pick up the pace of our businesses tremendously because folks would love to come down there in SEC country and, bet on their games. NFL, with the Tennessee Titans and New Orleans Saints was also a huge draw for us as well as the NBA. And here in the sports mecca of the world, up here in the great state of New York, we think there is a tremendous upside with sports wagering. And, as you've seen over in New Jersey, a lot of folks just go across that state line in order to place their sports wagers, which is a lot of money, quite frankly, that's leaving the state of New York.
I absolutely agree. I never did this is my editorial for the day. I never did understand why they would give a license to a casino that would allow for electronic gaming but prohibit poker. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Is there a rationale that you understand and can explain that prohibits poker but allows essentially electronic gaming?
That's a wonderful question. I'm also a poker player, but I don't think I'm quite up to your skill level from what I understand. But also, given the fact that we have video poker, I'm a bit vexed, like yourself, in terms of why we don't offer that live poker here. I think it's, a game that maybe until the last 12 to 15 years was a little bit viewed as, that's for a specialist type of gambler. And as it's become more mainstream and more widespread and more acceptable, and people understand it's a game of skill, I think it's become more accepted. But I just think initially, because it wasn't packaged as part of the deal, that's why it really didn't get in there. It was just lack of knowledge. But I think that has really changed since the turn of the millennium in year 2000. As you can see on TV, the World Poker Tour, World Series of Poker, and all of the other satellite poker offerings that are really televised now. And the number of participants in poker has really grown the game tremendously over the last 2 decades.
In the next 2 minutes that we have for the interview, Give us some of the promotions that you'll be offering over the next month or so that listeners who are in the area that would want to step in might be encouraged to do so.
Yeah, absolutely. So, first of all, the one I mentioned earlier was our $555,000 Race to MGM Vegas promotional giveaway. We have drawings every Saturday from 6 to 10 p.m. with a bonus drawing at 10:45 p.m. We're awarding at least $45,000 every single Saturday in free play. And then on the last Saturday of June, we'll be awarding one of those luxury SUVs, the Cadillac Escalade and the Infiniti QX50 that I mentioned earlier, and 8 round trips to Vegas, which are 4 nights of complimentary accommodations, a $200 food and beverage credit at each of those wonderful properties, the Bellagio, MGM Grand, Park MGM, and the Mirage. And, of course, we're going to pick up your airfare as well. Every day of the week, we have different promotions. Today, we have our Forever Young promotion every Wednesday during the course of June, and that's really targeted for our customers ages 55 and older.
Listeners, we're going to cut away. We'll be back after a quick break.
East Coast Gaming Congress is the second longest running gaming conference in the country.
2 days, focused discussion with the right speakers.
Coming together and paying attention to where is the future of the industry going and how do we prepare ourselves for it.
I want to give people the chance to do what they want to do. If they want to play online, if they want to come to the casino, but the more different offerings that you offer folks, the better experience you're going to have and the stickier your customer is going to be.
The biggest challenge facing this industry will be how do they attract new players and get them into their casinos by sports betting, by online gaming, and other emerging forms of gaming.
I started my day up at Monmouth Park, where I had the great pleasure of placing the first 2 legal sports bets in New Jersey's history.
I'm not a food and beverage person at all, but I found the food and beverage panel today fascinating.
You can come here even if you're not planning on playing, and then eventually turn a couple of diners into players, and then they got a routine in their life.
ECGC brings in subject matter experts that are all explaining what's going to happen next, and that's the reason I come here.
Hey, this is Dave Weishuttle from House of Cards with your House of Cards gaming report for the week of June 3rd, 2019. The Nevada Gaming Commission has placed a former dealer in its infamous Black Book. Mark Bronco, a former dealer at the Bellagio, was convicted of stealing more than $1 million from a casino. Bronco is the 36th name in the Black Book, which means he cannot enter a casino in the state of Nevada. Mike Tyson has announced that he has invested in an esports team. The team, named Fade 2 Karma, will construct a streaming facility in El Segundo, California at the Tyson Ranch, which is Mike Tyson's marijuana company. The new complex will have a stage for tournaments, production facilities, and private rooms for live streaming. And finally, last weekend, Tiger's Poker Night, presented by the World Poker Tour, was held at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. It was attended by stars of the poker and sports world such as Lynn Gilmartin, Phil Hellmuth, Shane Victorino, and Russell Westbrook. The tournament was eventually won by Dan Shack. However, the big winner of the night was Tiger Woods' charity, the TGR Foundation. Sounds like it was pretty fun. Have any news or tips regarding casinos, gaming, or legislation? Send us an email at newsroom@houseofcardsradio.com and follow us on Twitter at HOC Radio.
You're listening to the House of Cards.
Brunson, Gus Hansen, Seidel. Ain't nothing special. Watch them on TV back in my house, and it's just so freaking obvious to me that they're bluffing.
I know, man. I can always tell what they've got.
Oh, sure. It's obvious when ESPN is showing you their hole cards. There's no hole card cam here. You want to know what I'm holding? You're going to have to read my face.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Ashley Adams. You're listening to House of Cards. Listeners, we've been talking to Ryan Ross, who is the Vice President of Marketing for Empire City Casino. Give us some of the promotions that you'll be offering.
On Tuesdays, we have our fantastic 15s, whereby all you have to do is earn 15 points to get $15 in free play. On Thursdays, we have our Triple Threes promotion. So you have to earn 33 points to get $3 in free play, and you can do that 3 times per week. And then on Fridays, we have our points for free play, which is extremely popular with our customers, where they can redeem points for free play up to $300. And we're bringing back a legacy promotion called Big Draw on Saturdays in July as well.
Well, that's terrific. How large is your harness track? Is it a 5/8? Is it a half mile? What is it?
It is a half mile, the racetrack here, and I would, as I said earlier, we have one of the largest gaming floors in the country with over 5,200 units, and we generate over $300 million a year for this New York State Education Fund. One thing I was remiss to mention is that we'll have Kool and the Gang coming here to Empire City Casino for a concert on Friday, August 16th. During the evening. It'll either be at 8 or 9 p.m. as well.
That's terrific.
But it is a half-mile track.
Well, thank you, Ryan. I've really enjoyed talking with you. And when you guys get poker, please make sure to set up another interview with us, because I'd love to talk to you about that.
Absolutely. We'll certainly do so.
All right, great. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Appreciate your time today, Mr. Adams.
Listeners, that was Ryan Ross, Vice President of Marketing for Empire City Casino. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back with our next guest.
You're listening to House of Cards.
Where was the house? Where was the House of Cards?
Welcome back to House of Cards. Dave Weishaupt with you. You know, the news on the subject of sports betting is coming at us at a fast pace nowadays, and we're lucky to interview some of the best reporters covering the sports betting scene. And today, I think we have one of the best from USBets.com and SportsHandle.com, Matt Rybaltowski. You know, I want to change the subject a little and keep it on sports betting, and I know 2 states have already released their April numbers for sports betting, Pennsylvania and New Jersey. I wanted to ask you about Pennsylvania first. In April, Pennsylvania had a handle of $36.76 million, which resulted in about a little over $4 million in revenue. Are these disappointing numbers for Pennsylvania? I know they're gearing up for online betting, but right now, is this really disappointing for Pennsylvania?
Yeah, I'm looking at the figures on a month by month basis, and a few of them are down by over 30% in comparison with March. Most notably, Rivers Casino, Sugar House Casino, and Hollywood as well. And at first glance, I don't think it's that disappointing, just because of the power of March Madness. March Madness is the second largest sporting event that's bet on each year, but behind the Super Bowl. So that's not as disappointing as it might seem. I think for Pennsylvania, the big issue is that several books are about to roll out mobile sports wagering. So you have to look at it from that point of view. And just because in New Jersey, 81% of the handle is online there. So I don't know that number for the handle of 36.8 million. You have to figure that it might go up fairly considerably over the next few months. Yeah. Now that Pennsylvania plans to offer mobile.
I got to tell you, about 2 hours ago, I got an email from Parx Casino saying online sports betting is on the way, and sign up for updates so they can keep me up to date on what's going on with the Pennsylvania online sports betting. So they're really gearing up for the online sports betting. But do you think we're going to see that dramatic of a change? I mean, I'm sitting here in New Jersey, and I remember when online casinos came, and if the profits the revenues fell well below their projections. Do you think it's going to be lower revenue than they're projecting in Pennsylvania, or do you think you're going to see a change, but it's going to be gradual?
Yeah. To your second point there, probably a change, but maybe a gradual one there, and I think one of the key drivers will be the promotions that places like Parx and Rivers offer. Certain promotions like deposit $100 to your mobile account and receive $50 to $100 of free betting there, because that's the key driver for a lot of these books is the number of new bettors they could attract, the number of new bettors that sign on, and if these books become really creative with their promotions and entice new bettors to join, then you might see their handle exceed some of the forecasts that they have out there.
You mentioned it before. New Jersey's handle was $313.7 million, and 81% of that came from mobile sports betting. I mean, is New Jersey the example, if you're another state, that you should have mobile, and if you want revenue figures that will really benefit your state, you have to have mobile aspect of your sports betting?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There was a major Senate hearing in New York 2 weeks ago, and a number of panelists made that exact point of it's almost impossible to have legalized sports betting without mobile sports betting. So you're seeing some of the statistics out there that show that online is really driving the volume in New Jersey. But what you're also seeing is that some of the land-based wagers in the state are much more than the mobile bets. So I think some of those companies like DraftKings and FanDuel, they have to do a better job of trying to convert those land-based bettors to mobile, and then they'll see those figures increase even more.
I follow the news across the country because I read sportshandle.com and usbets.com, and I especially read your articles. And, when I look at the proposed legislations of different states, I see some of them don't have a mobile or online component of their sports betting in their draft legislation. Why do you think that is? Are they seeing something that's going wrong in New Jersey, or are they seeing something that could go wrong in New Jersey? Why doesn't every proposed draft legislation have something regarding mobile sports betting?
It's hard to tell. It might be short-sighted on their part. Most notably in New York. I'm just speculating there, but there could be cybersecurity concerns, possibly, that those politicians are worried that the mobile platforms aren't secured, and consumer's personal information, such as their social security numbers, might be compromised. I think that's the biggest issue with mobile. The sportsbook operators would probably come back and argue that those platforms are extremely secure, and there's not an issue there. But I think just from taking a broad look at it, that the cybersecurity concerns might be the main issue there.
You know, I have a question that the Parks email sparked this question, and you're the guy to answer it. I mean, online poker, there's compacts between states for shared player pools. You know, and like I said, I'm sitting in New Jersey, but the closest sports book to me is Parks Casino over the river in Pennsylvania. If they go online, do you see New Jersey and Pennsylvania doing a deal across state lines, or did the new DOJ Wire Act opinion kind of, stop all that talk about sports books in different states sharing players?
Oh, well, really great question there. There had been some talk about that, about those multi-state liquidity sharing pools or compacts last summer, and I think the DOJ's Wire Act interpretation sort of stalled that talk there.
Hold that thought, and we'll be right back with more House of Cards right after this quick break. House of Cards is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com.
Yeah, you, come here. Haven't you heard? We don't need to hide anymore.
Now, we can shop privately for adult products at adamandeve.com. They've got massage oils, lingerie, and lots more we can't mention here. Use offer code SPICE404. They'll give you 50% off almost any one item, 3 free DVDs, free mystery gift, and free shipping. That's 50% off, free shipping, and more. Private shopping starts at adamandeve.com.
You're listening to the House of Cards.
Whoa! I think we got a show.
Oh, yeah, we got a show.
We definitely got a show.
Oh, yeah, there's a show. Hey, it's all about ratings, baby, and we got them.
Welcome back to House of Cards. Dave Weishottle with you here. For those of you just joining us, I'm talking with Matt Raboltowski from SportsHandle.com and USBets.com. Sorry about that. Radio has to do its business, Why don't you continue what you were saying before the break?
And I know in New Jersey, as you mentioned, there's one of those compacts with 3 states for online poker.
Yep.
And it almost it stands to make sense that neighboring states in a number of regions throughout the country should enter into those compacts. I'm thinking more about several of the states in the Midwest.
Sure.
When you look at some Big Ten games, say between Nebraska and Iowa, if both those states wind up legalizing, you could see 90% of the action on the Cornhuskers Nebraska, and then maybe a similar rate in Iowa. So it just stands to reason that some of those Western states should enter into those compacts if it becomes legally allowed on a federal level.
So what do you think the next big story we're going to hear about in the sports betting industry? And what do you think is the next state that's going to make sports betting legal?
Next biggest story. I think we're nearing the end of the legislative sessions in a number of states. So on a near term basis, that'll probably dominate the headlines for now. And then I think that that bettors and fans should place a close attention to what's happening on the offshore market as well, because even though Sarah Slane and Daniel Wallach had differing views on the pricing of data at last week's conference, a number of industry participants are in agreement that the legal market should be construed to curb the influence of these offshore operators located in, say, Costa Rica or Antigua, Curacao, places like that, because those offshore operators aren't forced to pay U.S. taxes at all. They're able to offer customers better odds, but by the same token, if you make a large bet of say $10,000 at an offshore book, it's really hard to trust those books and expect that you're gonna be paid.
Yeah.
And so these prominent books in New Jersey and Pennsylvania and in other states that are legalizing sports betting now, they are heavily regulated, and so if you make a large bet in New Jersey, you should be almost 100% confident that you're going to get paid out if you win that bet. So I think that's a major issue to follow, because bettors don't want to see the VIG in Pennsylvania be dramatically higher than it is offshore, because it's much easier to collect that bet from a local book than it is from a book that you really can't trust there.
Matt, we're running out of time, but I want to give you the chance to tell everyone where they can read your articles and how they can follow you on social media.
Yeah, it's at sportshandle.com and usbets.com, and then my Twitter handle is at Matt Rybeltowski. That's MATTRYB as in boy, ALTOWSKI.
You know, I want to tell everyone that your articles on sportshandle.com are excellent and are required reading for everyone here at the radio show. So I want to thank you and keep up the good work. Matt Rybeltowski from sportshandle.com and usbets.com, thanks for coming on.
Thanks so much for having me. It was a real pleasure.
And that's all the time we have this week for House of Cards. See you next week.
Around a loveless